Hello, friends. I'm Chris Dorsey, President and CEO of Disciples Home Missions, here with Brian Frederick Gray, Director for Justice and Advocacy Ministries. We have a lot to cover, so we are going to get right at it.
Yeah, our first issue, Chris. Earlier this month, the Department of Defense, now War, removed the Christian Church Disciples of Christ, along with several other religious traditions, from its Religion Affiliation Code List. They reduced that from over 200 traditions to 30.
Yeah, Brian, it's important to note that the reason there had been 200 traditions is that we are an incredibly diverse nation, and the people who serve in our military deserve to have their faith traditions respected and acknowledged. And so Reverend Dr. Jonathan Fisher, DHM Director for Chaplaincy and Specialized Ministries, got right on it. As our ecclesiastical endorser representing the Christian Church Disciples of Christ, he helped lead other ecumenical endorsers to prepare and send a letter of protest to the Department of Defense, signed by multiple denominations and multiple religious organizations.
And Chris, I want to jump straight to the resources on this one because it's going to help folks to understand the significance of this decision, as well as give them the opportunity to be able to share and amplify this response. So you're going to be able to find the ecumenical letter. It's available on DHM's website. We're sharing the link with you right now on the video. You can also find it on all of our social media channels. Please amplify it and share it. You can use that to help find common language for expressing your concern. You can use that link to share it directly with your elected representatives to let them know that you are displeased with this. You can read it in your church. You can invite other folks to study. And I just want to say, I am so grateful to the Reverend Dr. Jonathan Fisher for leading in this effort, for inviting others into this work. And so I hope that you will also check out this amazing conversation that Jonathan had with Apostle Sharyn Cosby on the Living in the Spirit podcast.
Hmm.
There, you're going to get to hear directly from Jonathan in his own words, explaining the significance of this change, talking about the very real ways that it can make our service members feel like they are no longer seen or heard as their true and authentic selves. This is a heartfelt, pastoral conversation that comes from two folks who have deep connections to and a deep understanding of this specific issue.
Yeah. And Brian, I also want to point out that our own General Minister and President, Reverend Terry Holt Owens, has been involved in these conversations and reaching out to our chaplains and just letting them know that we as a denomination support them, support the people that they serve through this time of challenge. And we're all going to keep doing whatever we can to make sure that this is remedied. On to our next story, Brian. You were telling me that one of our community organizing collectives in Minnesota that was part of the March Minnesota event earlier this year just reached out with an even wider appeal. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so grateful for our partners on the ground who are helping to keep us connected. This is called Faith in Us. This is a collection of faith leaders from all across the country who are mobilizing to protect communities and defend democratic processes through coordinated nonviolent action.
So they're circulating a clergy sign-on letter, but
Mhm.
Brian, I think this is so much more. It's about more than that, right?
Most definitely. This is faith-based organizing at work. The immediate direct ask is for that clergy sign-on letter, asking clergy to be able to add their names to the letter titled Faith Leaders Defending Our Democracy, a national sign-on. But don't stop there. There are going to be trainings, there's organizing calls, there's going to be coordinated national mobilization that comes out of this organized effort.
So the website is filled with language and resources that we can use to mobilize people, get people actively engaged. It also talks about the four things that clergy and faith leaders can bring to the movement work specifically. It includes so many times that we have engaged in moving people forward and trying to push for progress. Disciples, I often say we are part of a tradition of progress, and we have been there in
Yeah.
all these various movements, from the farm worker movement, the civil rights movement, the labor movement, the abolition of slavery, women's suffrage. These are all the ways in which we have historically engaged, and we need to learn how we can do more today.
The URL is faithinusleading.org. You're just going to scroll down a little bit on that page to find the web form right on the main page. And when you sign the letter, make sure that you check one of those boxes to either opt into the text messages or to the email updates from the group, because this is the way that you're going to be able to stay engaged and activated and get direct communication from them about updates and further things that are coming.
Hmm. Brian, our last topic is hot off the press. That's an interesting phrase, hot off the press. Do things come hot off the press anymore? I guess you could say it's hot off the internet because the Supreme Court has issued two decisions yesterday, two very heart-wrenching decisions that impact immigrants and asylum seekers. Neither one of us are lawyers. DHM works in partnership with several trusted organizations who help us understand these matters. And we want to share some of that information with everyone out there.
Yeah, so the first of the cases was Mullen v. Doe. This is the Supreme Court case that is now allowing the administration to end temporary protected status specifically for Syrians and for Haitians in the United States. And I cannot stress enough, this is devastating as a decision. Temporary protected status, TPS for short, provides legal status to people whose home countries have been deemed unsafe because of war, natural disaster, or other crises. TPS allows them to live and work in this country while it's unsafe for them to be back home.
So by rescinding TPS for Haitians and Syrians, that means that those migrants, those people who have been forced out of their country, are now here without legal status. There are currently over 350,000 Haitians with TPS in the United States. So this decision doesn't necessarily mean that they'll immediately be deported, but it does mean that they will need to formally apply. And many people, let's just be honest, are afraid to apply
Yep.
because they're afraid that as soon as they apply for this, then someone that's going to trigger some action against them.
Yeah. But let me tell you about the second decision that was also handed down on Thursday. This is Mullen v. Al Otrolado. And in that case, the Supreme Court ruled that the administration can prevent asylum seekers from coming into ports of entry. They can literally block their way and make it so that they can't come in. This is significant because under immigration law, if a migrant comes to a port of entry seeking asylum, the government has to process that case.
Yeah, I just want to be clear about this, Brian. Seeking asylum is a legal status. Coming to a port of entry is how you apply for asylum, is how you start. It's like Ellis Island. It's like
Mhm.
any of those major ports where people came seeking a place of rest and a place of stability.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. Asylum seekers who are coming to this country because they are fleeing political or racial or religious persecution in their home country are now facing additional barriers, literal barriers that are being put in their way.
So, Brian, I know this is all happening in real time, but what resources do we have just off the bat for people?
Yeah, so like I said, this is one of those times where misinformation and disinformation can spread quickly. My number one recommendation as a trusted source of verified information is Church World Services daily state of play email updates. Another resource I want to point folks to comes from the Interfaith Immigration Coalition. Full disclosure, I am a part of the steering committee with that organization. The IIC has a series of press releases that went out yesterday in response. You can use those, you can share those. And finally, our very own Disciples Immigration Legal Counsel, Janelle Oclue, has been planning for this decision as well, getting ready for whatever was going to come out of it. And so she's going to be leading a webinar for our Haitian Disciples churches that's going to be coming up in July. And we're going to make sure that we have the link to share with you so that you can sign up and find out more.
Remember the strangers, for you once were a stranger. We just want to encourage you to keep the faith, keep the work, and we'll be right here helping you to stay informed.
May it be so, friends. Amen.